All right, it's me again. So the question today, and this could be on any day to be honest, is why has Bitcoin dropped? And the reason I'm making this audio, this video, uh, and it doesn't matter when someone is asking themselves this question, I can still give you an answer. It doesn't matter where or when we're talking about this. There's always going to be a whole bunch of reasons. Well, I would split them into two categories. You've got, on the one hand, you've got reasons that we know, and on the other hand, you've got reasons that we will never know. So that's just the nature of anything that is traded financially, but especially Bitcoin. So look, one thing I'll say generally about price action, if you just watch a chart, and I recommend anyone do this as an exercise, even watch the live chart that's showing a new bar every minute, okay? And it's kind of mesmerizing. There, if you watch the way the price moves, you will start to notice a few different things. Like, there is a kind of, some people call it like momentum, but it's a bit more than that. But there is a way that charts move. There's definitely a kind of an oscillation. Usually what goes up will come down. Usually what goes down will come up. But not always. It does it in kind of half predictable and half non-predictable ways. But I like to call it a kind of rubber banding effect. And that's part of oscillation, is that you might think it's going in a particular direction, the price, and it will overshoot, but it will come back, and then it will undershoot. And there's always this kind of rubber banding, and then it will look like it's going to do something, and it may do, or it may actually turn against the tide, and then you've got a new trend and a new rubber banding around that trend, and you've got like small trends inside bigger trends inside bigger ones. It all kind of wraps up as well. That's called fractals. So fractals is you may be familiar with something called the Mandelbrot set, I think it's called, and it uses fractals. And you see this in nature as well. You may see something that looks kind of jagged in nature. If you zoom in with a microscope, then it doesn't just go smooth, right? If you zoom in with a microscope, it's not just straight lines. You'll start to see new detail. And it's jagged even when you zoom in and zoom in and zoom in, and it basically never seems to stop until you get, I guess, to the atomic level. So there's all kinds of weird things going on with the price, and that's a reflection of market participants and the order book and people placing orders and their expectations and emotions and all that kind of stuff. So I would say on a micro level, if Bitcoin is dropping, or even if it's going up, or if it's trending, then ultimately it's a result of the aggregate, the combined effect of all the different people in the market. That's what happens. So, I mean, if it's dropping, you could say on aggregate, people think it's going down. It's a reflection of actually a future price expectation. If people think Bitcoin is gonna be worth less tomorrow, then the price will actually start dropping today before that tomorrow happens. So that's what is happening when it's dropping. Now we want to ask ourselves another level of why. Why are people having this belief and this expectation that's causing the price to drop? Well, it could be that they're all looking at like macro, big economic events. It could be that they're thinking about, where is the economy going to go? Are people going to have money in their pocket? Are jobs plentiful? Is unemployment going up? Where are interest rates at? Are they going to go up? Are they going to go down? Is everything falling into line with expectations? Or has there just been a sudden surprise? If there's a surprise, that normally makes markets move. If suddenly there's information that affects everybody, but it was only known to maybe a few people, or it was previously unknown and suddenly everyone has just found out about it, that tends to move markets, either in positive or negative ways. So Bitcoin can drop because of that, for example. And you see this happen all the time. Bitcoin is subject a lot to things that are happening in the news. There is a guy I follow, he's quite popular, called Ben Cowan. And he has a phrase which is interesting that he's learned over the years. And he says that Bitcoin doesn't need any reason to go up. But when it goes down, it's typically due to some reason. I think what he's saying there is Bitcoin is new money. It's got a fixed supply, and no more will ever be created once it's all been mined, and no government can just print new Bitcoin. It won't work. It is the new real money, and as more and more people adopt it, then it will go up anyway. So that's a kind of assumed reason that Bitcoin will go up. So to his perspective, Bitcoin doesn't need a reason to go up because it's on that trajectory anyway. That's destiny. But it will go down on any kind of news. It will. You do need a reason for Bitcoin to go down. It shouldn't normally go down, but give it a reason and it will happily go down. It will react quickly and almost violently in reaction to negative news. So if you see that Bitcoin has dropped, it normally won't have done it for no reason whatsoever. It will normally do it because there's something in the news. Now it can also happen, I mentioned before, oscillation of the price. So something that I've learned over time is that if you see Bitcoin pump one day, and then the next day, and then the next day, maybe an even bigger pump, it's pretty much guaranteed that the day after, the fourth day in this example, that the day after there will be some consolidation. People will take profits, and it will not pump again. It will come back. It will be a down day. I mean, hey, it might actually pump again for a fourth day, and then I would say, well, hey, come on. On the fifth day, it's definitely going to consolidate. It's definitely going to go down. So there are things like that, as I say, oscillation and stuff like that, and momentum. Nothing pumps forever. There's always pullbacks. It's like a rubber band. But on the big moves, especially the sudden ones, there's usually a reason for it. Now, these are all the things I've talked about that we can identify, that we know. But there's also a lot of unknowns as well in the market. There are things that we have some people suspect that the market is manipulated, and especially on a big down day when Bitcoin has dropped, they'll say, oh man, it's manipulation, someone's manipulating the market. I think a lot of the time people are saying that just because they're annoyed, they're pissed that it dropped. The important thing is not to have a huge reaction to this. Stay cool, stay calm. Chances are it'll probably resume whatever long-term trend it was on, unless by coincidence today, on this very day, things are turning, the trend is turning. That's always possible, but in general it's not the case. Is there manipulation? Sure, I'm sure there's some, but what can you do about it anyway? There's nothing you can do about it. And there's also the unexplained things as well. Who knows? But look, prices move as a result of participants. That much is guaranteed. Why do participants act in certain ways? Why do they speculate? We can point towards some things, some news that they're reacting to, but we also will never know really why people are acting in certain ways. Very difficult to tell. So anyway, I hope that gives you some idea of why Bitcoin might have dropped. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment below. We'll speak again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.